Jason, good morning. How you doing?
Good morning. Day inside.
Aren't you worried about the state of the industry in music?
Oh, we get live, so we do cool.
Are you not worried? Now, let me just bring to our table the importance of this conversation. And I like to do that because I keep saying that just as there are issues with unemployment, so because of that, we see government step in with measures to eradicate, resolve, provide opportunities for people. Just as we see in industries like gold mining, we see Galamsey as a threat to our well-being. Just as we see midwives and nurses protesting on the streets asking for their payments because it is important to their industry, we who find ourselves in this space of talking the business of the creative arts also find it important when we see a certain gap or a loophole in our industry or in our system that does not give us the chance to be able to optimize our services and hit 100% with our efficiency. So we raise these concerns and then we start talking about them. Let no man downplay the industry and think that it is a fun industry. No, it is a multi-trillion CD industry where a lot of money is being made. People's lives have been changed. People have listened to Ghanaian songs and has changed their perception about life, direction in life. And look at the raw when we lost the likes of Daddy Lumba. Mm-hmm. Look at how he was celebrated across the world. Yes, the same way Michael Jackson may be celebrated, the same way the world or Ghanaians felt the loss of an artist like Daddy Lumba. God forbid. What if we hear that some of our greats have decided not to do music again? We will be robbed of certain voices and certain inspiration. Just look at the likes of the Saminis and the Shatters. Look at what happened in Kumasi just because an artist decided to take his brand and his experience. He brought people together. Do you know the number of businesses that were activated within those short 3 days that Sarkodie was in Kumasi? NYD just shared a post on his Facebook yesterday and I was very interested. And he posted a picture of Kotoko playing a game against a certain team. There were a lot of empty seats. When Sarkodie decided to go to the Baba Yara Sports Stadium, did you see the number of people that were there? Twice the number or 3 times the number of people that were at. But even the restriction that they had, look at the numbers that they put out there. When Stonebwoy decided to do the Beam concert at the stadium, I bet the last time we saw that number of persons at the stadium was probably some old match that was played. But the stadium needs money to operate. That should tell you the power of music. However, over the past few years, within 2018 to about 2022, a lot of artists have popped up. But by some worry, we hardly hear of them any longer. I am bold to mention names. Maybe they are still releasing. Maybe because I'm not their core fan, so I do not follow their latest releases. But when they popped onto the scene, their music was loud. And we heard it. They were there. The Bosom P. Youngs, the Mewugas, you name them. I could go on and on and on and on. I'm trying to find a list to populate here. And these artists, one way or the other, may not be on our lips any longer. But the question is, why? If there's a problem on their side, how come, or if there's no problem in the industry, how come others are able to carry a legacy to fill stadia and still be relevant 20 years, year on? This is the conversation before us this morning. I throw this back to my friends in here, who are all industry pundits carrying various levels of experience in very little areas that they've dealt with. But the big question is why? So I want to start off by asking us here, is it a cause to worry when we don't hear some of our wild artist names? Sefa, Frida Rhymes, you name them. Plenty. Have you ever heard Frida Rhymes rap before? Unless I'm lying, she is a wild female rapper. Mm-hmm. What happened? Where did this lady pass? Sweetie.
Raquel.
Raquel.
Oh, yeah. But we all know what happened.
What happened?
to Raquel. When after that performance that she did that showed inappropriately what she was wearing and certain body parts.
No,
I mean what she was wearing on the outside. What she was wearing on the outside that showed what she was not wearing. We know it was after that she just
Len, you know some stations have got this liner like
I'm the liner. What do you want? What do you want? I'm gonna do for you. When you raise your arm, I'm gonna fire one.
So that's what happened to Raquel. Because after that, she really didn't. She wasn't, out there.
Should that be a reason why your career?
That should not be.
That
should not be. But that's what we saw.
Because there's been lots of scandals.
Man shall not live by tongue.
Charlie,
let's go.
Serious.
Let's go.
OJ.
Yeah.
So I've left the chat, by the way.
But where are you going?
Together.
So the question is, we understand that there are two issues: one, funding, and then the industry not being structured. But where does the weight lie on more, and how come some people have been able to maneuver their way around to still activate? We don't hear. Listen, his name is Yao Talk, for example. Kofi Jama. You listen to the catalog of music Kofi Jama has. It's wild music. It's good music. You listen to Yao Talk's Breakout. He's released quite a number of hot songs, but we hardly put him at the forefront as we used to. Is it as the consumers? I once had a chance to engage closer with Lord Paper. Yes, he had this issue with his nudity and all those things, but beyond that, he dropped songs with this guy. He had a collaboration with this guy that was some old Busum Piyong.
Yeah.
Classic. Yeah. And he had more of such songs, and I listened to them and I loved it. But what happened to Paper? It goes on and on. The list is unending. Even recently, I haven't heard much from Eno Baroni, and I'm being very blunt. They are there. They're releasing music, but they are not at the forefront as we used to hail them. If we were to go into a music war right now with the West, I'll put artists like the same as I'm mentioning right now.
So your issue is not their consistency. Your issue is their success. Because it's two things. You can be consistent.
Relevance, more like.
You can be consistent, release music. You can be active.
Obviously,
and I'm sure
successful.
To anybody who is a fan of these artists, somebody listening right now say, "Oh, he released music last week, but he did it last 2 weeks, or she did it then, or she released this freestyle." But we're talking about the success or the heights they reach for. So what are you referring to right now?
I think it's a mixture of both.
Or the success?
Both play a vital role in the conversation, regardless. Because you may still be consistent and yes, not successful. But we're talking about today, when we sit in to discuss, in rooms to discuss, and when we see the optics of the music industry, these names don't pop up that much. The question is, why? Ricky, let me start off with you and get your thoughts on this.
Well, you see, the background of this conversation, which stated that this guy's misbehaving.
I know, it's really just we'll give him Pepsodent, don't worry. It's okay. And I was police.
I think the background of the conversation is also very important, and that which is marketing. You can you remind me of the
that's I mentioned that
marketing gimmicks to maintain relevance as an artist.
Yes,
and that's one thing that we need to take a critical look at, because I think it's the bedrock of where we find ourselves now as an industry, because a lot of people forget that marketing, like in music business, marketing is not PR, and so we need to understand that. You see, when you are making the list of names that have fallen out as compared to those who currently exist, which is let's say I put a few names down who are your top names that when you have a major concert they are likely to headline. Medical, Stoneboy, Shatawale, Sarkodie, Black Sheriff, Kiddy, Kim Promise. Aside these names, it's going to be very difficult for us to, if there is, cool, but I don't see any other names that I could say could headline major events for like the stadiums, for bigger auditoriums and all of that. These are the names that can do that, and all these names have some strong stories behind them. They they have a lot of conversations and PR. They've enjoyed some good PR. For marketing, I'll go into that, because there's marketing in music business and PR in music business, in the sense that marketing in music business is your promotion, your TikTok influencer campaigns, sponsored ads, all of those things, just to let people know that you have music out, or this artist is out there.
Yes.
And then there's PR, which is more like public perception, creating a certain perception about the brand, about the artist, for people to always want to talk about. So, for example, what Wale did with the whole Lamborghini thing and all of that is PR. It's not marketing. When Wale drops a song and he shoots visuals, he calls influencers to do challenges, and he pitches for playlists, all of those things. That is marketing. And so Wale may not have a song out, or Wale may not be doing marketing,
but his PR
is always strong. Unfortunately for Wale, he doesn't even do marketing. We all know, and that's a fact. Wale will not invest in any marketing, any influencer challenges, any billboards, he doesn't do that. His interest and his focus, and maybe because of where he started from, they are big on publicity stunts, conversations. That's the culture of these names. Wale, Medical, they all have
Has
a story.
that become Ghanaian artists' escape to gaining relevance, which comes to what you are saying, gaining relevance? That's between PR and marketing. You are better off doing PR, unless Cyril, you object to Ricky's explanation of PR and marketing in this context.
So you see, Cyril,
I agree with.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have asked the question. Let's.
Both are all important, and that's why we are lacking here in Ghana. So let me give you an example, and we'll name drop a lot. Amare is lacking that. Amare is lacking PR. Like at 4. Amare is lacking PR.
Yeah.
Amare does all the great marketing. Amare will shoot the best videos. Amare will, you see her on Fader, Pitchfork, all of those, international
platforms.
Yeah, chat or blogs. But you see, what that does is, you can do all the great marketing, but the reader or everybody else, the random consumer, sees it as placement and cannot connect. And so you can do international PR, but if local PR, so more or less like international PR gives you headlines, all the great attention, but local PR gives you relevance. It solidifies you. And that's also, we could do that comparison in the case of Wale and Stonebwoy. Stonebwoy could say, international artists and there. But Wale's grounds locally, when he threw the show and Stonebwoy threw the show, now make we see who the international person be. When Wale's numbers are speaking on the digital platforms and Stonebwoy's numbers are speaking, you see the difference. And so it's supposed to be a combination of both. And most of our artists are lacking that. And that's where the major problem is. The confusion of, I drop song, I come see J, I come see 3 Music, I pay for marketing and all of that, and they are placing the song, they are giving me social media postings and all of that. But what's the story? Who is Jason? I need to connect with Jason. So that if Jason is not, if Jason's song is not playing today, like Adina, if Adina doesn't have a song, there's nothing for me to remember. Okay, so I don't go to her music.
Based on what you just said, I just want to know, does PR have to be, not always, but majorly negative?
No. It doesn't have to be. Davido does a lot of PR every time. Davido, Burna Boy, they combine both. The Nigerian artists combine marketing and PR. So Davido will go out, splash money, or do like some goodwill. And it is all over. Davido there, or Chadio.
You said something very important. Now you got me thinking. Let me throw a question back at you guys again. You see, you've mentioned PR and you've mentioned marketing.
Yeah.
In Nigerian artists, as we see, don't you think that the right thing an artist needs to do, don't want to blend it, is to do marketing? Proper marketing will sell you off better than trying to do. No. Because we have focused a lot on PR, and the PR brings the question that he asked, negative PR.
I think that the PR keeps you on top of people's minds.
Yes, exactly.
Than marketing.
I want to interject before we go too far.
Washing the glasses here,
So Ricky is on point, right? But I just want to point out that before you can do marketing or before you can do PR, you have to become a music brand. A lot of our artists gain notoriety and popularity off of their music product as a musician. And people fall in love with the sound and the sonic asset that you have released. But the persona and the individual behind it does not establish themselves as a music brand. You cannot do marketing and PR in a void to follow a successful song. Ultimately, all that attention you are doing, farming for, is going to be attached to the song. And when that song dwindles, so does all that. The difference between a Mr. Easy and a Davido is that Mr. Easy has a solid personal brand.
Which is it born out of PR or marketing?
No, his personal brand now gives him that consistency in our minds. So when I say Mr. Easy, your mind is open to any conversation, be it about entrepreneurship, social life, music, innovation.
Yeah, but you have
now
build,
the music is even.
But how do you
let me
wealth,
like D Black.
relationship.
When you mention D
get
Black, to be very honest,
You don't think-
80% of the time is business.
Yes, but that is the
entrepreneurship.
brand. Yes, so that's it's like Diddy. When you mention Diddy, right? If I said sing a Diddy song right now, it might be hard.
Yeah.
But Diddy is one of the topmost music brands. So that's what I'm saying, that when you have that opportunity, you should not be establishing the song or trying to chase the song as who you are. That is a product. Who has made the product? Who is the owner of this product? Why should we care about other products that
So
this
artists
owner...
that promote music might be causing themselves a big more harm
They-
than people who
and
focus
again,
on developing
I
their
keep-
brand.
I keep
No,
using... I
so
keep
Jay, you
using-
see, it's
It has to be a
both.
combination,
Exactly.
yeah.
Listen,
That's
a blend.
where
Yes, but you see,
success you
it
can
is-
easily.
it can't be both. It has to be one.
It cannot.
We listen. We have
cannot.
You let me learn. We have
We are
we have normalized. We have normalized for artists
Yes.
to grow popular and grow successful off of songs, when we the media know very well that they have no brand to attach it to. And
No,
the
but
success
brands are built. You get
Yes,
it. Brands
but-
are built.
Yeah,
but
So
what
let
I'm
me give you an
saying is that they
example.
don't-
Like Lil
no,
Nas
what I'm
X.
saying, what I'm saying
So
is, Ricky,
I
what
beg
I'm
you.
saying
I want
is
to
that-
give you a combination of
No, what I'm
two
saying is
in one.
No, let me
in one
finish.
artist.
What I'm saying is that they don't invest in building the brands before they declare themselves full-fledged musicians. So it is now about the relevance that each release carries. That needs to resonate back to
But
Jay
Ricky
Foley.
said that
But
the
it's
brands are
possible to
built-
do that along
So
the way.
let me
You don't
give
have
him
to finish
exactly. Let me give him
building
a
before
classic
that comes
example.
up.
Can we
Lil
do,
Nas
can we
X.
do Culture Daily
Cyril,
before we
from last week?
we-
You've been
we-
talking
before-
in this microphone.
Before
I'm
we,
here now.
before
Allow
we,
me.
can we do Culture Daily
let's
before
hear.
we establish three music?
No, but that's a different.
different-
Yeah,
Okay,
but if it was even a
It is.
combination
Brand
of
always
both.
starts
It was
first.
even a combination of both.
Yes.
You
Okay.
established three music and you carried a setting.
Yes, but in your conversation, three music will always come first. That's what I'm saying.
No. So again, let me give you the Lil Nas example. When Lil Nas dropped his first song, the one that Old Town Road, when he dropped that, he did a lot of marketing on it, making sure that it was being placed, it was being played, relevant people were talking about it and all of that. But to get the PR or to actually get people connected to the song, there was a PR around the song. Aside the popularity of the song, there was PR, which was the fact that, is this song hip hop or country music? I don't know if you guys remember that story. There was a whole conversation and it was intentional. It was PR engineered because they wanted to sell the song. And in as much as they had done the billboards, they had branded the artist and all of that, they wanted to push the guy in your face. Another example is Black Sheriff. Black Sheriff's arrangement with Burna Boy was good marketing for the remix.
Yeah.
But the PR part, which was supposed to be conversational, which was supposed to connect you and get you to go watch or follow the video, was a whole conversation around Charlie. They say Burna Boy take $10,000 and in shirt alone be this and in this and this. That is PR. So it connects you to the song. It connects you to the artist. The whole thing that, I'm not saying that it was engineered, but the conversation around Blacko being ungrateful and in Guy B, you go chop the guy money and all of that. That
have been
actually
PR.
also helped, it's part of PR.
Crazy.
It helped the guy's story. It helped people to connect. And that is what I'm talking about. A lot of these artists that you speak of.
But that actually happened though.
Yeah, it happened.
Well,
it did.
okay.
But I think he's saying that the conversation was heavily around
around
even
that,
though the
okay,
song was
okay.
being promoted at the same time,
Yes.
right? So as it is going, the conversation
and
is also
Blacko did
going.
something, and Blacko did something great when all those conversations were happening around his name. He used it to establish a persona, the carefree, music focused, radical youth leader, militant mindset. That is the brand. He took advantage of it to establish a brand. So post all that blah 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 and all that noise. Now we were anticipating what the brand was going to put
So
out.
to you, for
when- remember
Blacko, which
Soulja?
one stands tall? His marketing or his PR? His brand in this case, or his music?
His brand.
Blacko has both. You see,
Yes,
when you
but-
look at
yeah, no,
Blacko,
but
there's a lot of stories about Blacko
guys,
that you know.
We
you can
asked the
connect to.
question.
Just
Just
as
as
his
his
Even
music.
from the onset,
we
like
asked
the
the
story
question.
about where
The
he's
girl
coming
asked the
from,
question.
Yeah.
When
you know,
Jay
his
Foley
parents,
said,
you know,
yes.
before we even found out his parents are not even in Ghana.
When Jay Foley
Yeah.
set the ball rolling, the conversation I had
Table
was
tennis.
relevance. The conversation I had was relevance. And I am talking to relevance. You cannot have relevance without having a brand. Period. That is why
always the
But that's a
case?
lie. Yeah, that's
your
not true.
relevance will be fleeting. Hear me out. We are talking about music longevity. That's why you
Yeah.
mentioned people who have failed to hold that longevity versus people who have. And I'm saying that the reason why Sarkodie, Shatter, Stone, blah blah blah, have built one way or the other music brands. So, like you're saying, if Wale doesn't even release a song and he buys a car, right? It is part of his brand persona, okay? That he enjoys luxury items.
Is that not PR?
Yes.
No, the PR is Tobo. The PR is that when he does buy the car, okay, the story around it is that it's the first of its kind in Ghana.
Yeah.
That is the PR.
Yeah.
Do you understand? The marketing is that when he's going to feature on medical show, everybody behind him wears purple and he drives the purple car there. That is the marketing. But who is doing all that? It is Shatta. There are other artists in this country who, if we had bought a purple Lamborghini and we were flaunting it, the story wouldn't gel so much.
No, it will. If they
It
engineer
depends
you
on
get
how they do
exactly.
it, because now the
Why
question will
can't-
be
if-
how much
if
are
no-
they
if
making?
no- also,
That's
if
again-
Which
Papa-
shows have they played?
listen,
What are their
listen,
streaming numbers to be able to make that money to buy the car?
If Patapa, okay, or AY Polo bought a purple Lamborghini,
Yeah.
it would make news based on the disruption of it, because we did not expect that from their brand. It would make news that
And we'll probably question the source of the income.
Exactly. The conversation would still be popular and still be on our mouths and still be on news and everywhere. But it would be because of
Okay,
the fact
Cyril,
that it is
if-
odd.
assuming you are right.
When Shatawale buys
Assuming you
another
are right.
Benz today, when Shatawale
Yes.
buys another Benz today, it would make the news, but not because it's odd.
Okay, but hold on. Shatta has been buying cars since. It was because of an incident. That's what made this particular one blow out. Because he's had cars.
Yeah.
He's had V8. He's had, and
Range
lots of the
Rovers.
artists
And that
have
is
done
part-
same.
and that is part
so
of his
there's nothing
brand.
different about it. It was
And-
because of
and
this
that
whole
is-
Ioko
And
thing. That's
no,
what made
even
it.
Forget about the Yoko and the Lambo.
I can't.
You can't.
Shatta, part of Shatawale's brand,
Yes.
is his love for cars.
I
So
no,
even
but
when
other people, you
other
see,
people too,
that-
because
exactly,
because
that's what I'm saying.
Stone Boy, I bet he has a fleet of vehicles
Yes.
as well. And if Ioko has stepped in, it would blow up as
It will
So
make
you see,
news,
Jay,
yeah.
no. So let's not forget. Again, that's why I keep saying that Wale, and you know Wale better. It's always intentional for Wale to cause or create controversy. It's intentional. So maybe Jay will buy a car, a more like newer Lamborghini
don't- uh-huh.
than
I thought you were going to say that.
Wale. But Jay will decide to keep it on the low, not because there's anything behind it. Even Sack, let me use Sack and Wale. Sack would want to keep it on the low. Wale will not do that.
Because that's not
Any-
Sack's brand.
anything- no.
Sack's brand is not loud and
So-
Sack,
so-
when
so now
Sack-
you're
But
speaking
Sack
my language.
doesn't really
Yes,
start
Sack,
it.
that is
Like,
his brand. When
So-
Sack Odia
so-
would like you to see him arrive and be like, "Oh, that be Sack in car." He wants you to figure
So-
it out.
so-
He's not the type to say,
so we are
"I'm
coming-
going-"
so we are
Sack
coming
Odia
to
no go
that.
cry you. Sack Odia no go cry you. Say he's bought a new range. It's coming in 6 weeks. Blah blah blah.
But he's
And
done
do-
that though.
No, he did it in the song.
So check
That's
this.
also his PR.
That's what I'm saying. That
So check this.
subtle.
That is why today
okay.
the Gen Zs, and I've done that exercise a lot because of where we play and all of that. Let's be honest. The Gen Zs relate to Wale a lot more than they relate to Sarkodie. They see, even though they are of the same, contemporary, they are contemporaries. Sarkodie and Wale are actually like of the same level. The Gen Z still, you go on their social media and they are posting very funny memes and stuff about Wale. Why? Because his brand, which you're talking about, which is very loud, which is very like
vibrant,
dynamic, out there to them, they can connect. Sak, on the other hand, they see him as Brapini, they see him as Lumba. And so when he even drops music, they don't scramble to go and connect or jump to his music like they will for Wale, because there's a certain connection. Even though Wale is way older than these young people, there's a certain connection. And so in as much as you may say that, he keeps it subtle and all of that is fine. But in music business, it is important. It could go against you. That's all I'm saying. Mm-hmm. That Adina chooses to say that, look, I don't want anything about my relationship, anything to be out there. It is fine. That is you. But long term, it could affect you, because today, if you are not hot as it is, what do we remember you for?
No story to work with.
Nothing. Like, there's nothing for us to connect to and all of that.
Are there any artists that have had this longevity without, stories?
It is quite difficult.
No, because you need that
emotional
Chris
Brown to whoever. There is no artist.
So we're saying that it's not possible.
It's not possible for you to be a big star without any conversation, or I don't want to use controversy.
Yeah, you have to generate something.
Exactly.
It doesn't have to be controversy, right? So whether it's good or
negative,
bad,
I'm asking.
Controversy,
it's
negative. So whether PR, whether it's
so what I said, it comes back to what I said. It has to be majorly, not always, but majorly negative.
Yeah, no,
like it has to be.
Also because they say that bad news travels faster. That's unfortunate. Should not be the case.
I want to ask a question. Again, the park that Jay Foley set the ball on, I don't think that's what we are discussing anymore. What Jay Foley asked, if I'm not wrong,
go to the park.
Is that these artists that make it out and make noise and have some relevance for X amount of time, they fade away. What is the cause for that fading, and why do some sustain? That is the conversation.
But he answered it.
But I think we have no.
He answered it by raising a point.
So the reason why I'm saying that is there are people who are successful locally, internationally, blah blah blah, who define their success, right, in a totally different way, and choose to have brands that don't engage in controversy, that don't engage in those loud media gimmicks and all that. Last week,
but let's bear in mind that someone like Sarkodie, even remember there was a point where people thought he was Illuminati, and all these things.
It was all part of the PR.
I think they've maybe he may not be as loud on it as now.
All I'm saying is that it is possible to be a Sarkodie and say, I will buy a car and not put it on social media.
No, that's fine. Granted,
that's what I say. That in music business,
so the question I'm putting to us now is that, considering the structure we've created in Ghana,
some names. You mentioned Yautog.
Yeah.
You mentioned who?
Sefa,
and I think the problem around that collective you've mentioned is not about lack of controversy or lack of eyeballs or whatever, blah blah. You're asking about deficiency, why they are good musicians, they are talented, they have good music, but they are not making the
but that's why he's saying that it's because they are lacking these things. So he's answering it. That's why he's saying that. And I'm saying these people are there, right? They make amazing music.
My response to
and your marketing can be great.
And I'm saying that.
So yeah.
And I have agreed with Ricky on marketing and PR. I'm just taking it a level above, that you cannot have marketing and PR in a void. Marketing and PR needs to be encapsulated in a brand.
No, but the question is first.
When you ask me right now, does Sefa have a brand, a story that people can latch on to, that consumers can latch on to and engage with? I'll say no.
But
if you ask me, no, she can have a brand. Listen, she can have
but
a
the brand is you. Cyril, you are confusing us.
No,
the brand is you. Whether you are popular or not,
you
are a brand.
Once you call yourself Lenny, you are a brand.
You are not close. No, calling yourself Lenny doesn't make you a brand.
But it makes you what?
It just makes you a personality.
I
to whether
only
you
say identity.
it's just an identity. It's like
No, but
saying
an identity is your brand.
No, guys, no.
This is a good conversation that we need to expand on.
No.
Unfortunately, our time is up, though, but let's quickly wrap it up.
Listen.
I think that where Ricky is coming from, or what it should be, is everybody is possibly or potentially a brand.
No.
It depends on
Listen,
how
let me
you
give
play
you an
around
example.
it. It depends on the PR.
No,
it
this
depends
is
on the
guys.
marketing.
No, it's good
around
that we have
all of
this
it, because
agreement.
everybody
Listen.
is a brand,
Listen,
right?
just
Yeah.
before you continue,
it
guys.
is in establishing your brand that you choose or you decide with your team whether your brand is one that thrives on controversy or one that is reserved.
But all is
It
But before you get to that point, before you get to that point, you are
guys,
a brand.
it doesn't work that
Okay,
way.
all right.
Bring a brand expert here. Bring another person. You cannot discuss marketing.
I
and
want to.
PR
I
in a
want
void.
us to take this.
No,
I
not
want us
in
to
a
take
void.
this conversation
As
of brand.
a human, like
The
as you
first,
first.
as a human, you are. Listen,
Lenny,
listen.
in all fairness,
that is why.
Cyril is a marketing expert.
That is
okay?
why. Listen.
So
that
but
is
I
why
also do
people.
in
Yeah,
music.
so listen. There's a
I'm
reason why
talking from
people.
music
There's a
business.
reason why
So
people.
what we're gonna do
guys,
is-
there's a reason why people put together personal branding courses, because you can exist as Jason, right? But you have not put your personal brand
Is Jason a
together.
brand or not?
You understand?
Is Jason a brand?
No,
or
he's
not?
Jason.
I'm
No,
using
Jason
Jason.
particular.
No, but I'm asking.
We
But
know
I'm asking
Jason
you.
is a brand because
Exactly.
Jason is on 3 Music
Jason,
because he's
how
a
do
brand.
you become
by having
that?
a brand, you can now decide that because I want to go up with
you
my
understand?
brand.
Let me use
I
my
want to
own
invest
brand.
in
This is what
marketing
I
and
want
PR.
to
So
I'm
let me
sorry,
use-
guys.
Let me use my own.
I'm sorry, guys. We'll be
let me
wrapping
use,
up.
Let me
Yes.
use. Let me use somebody we all know. Stip is popular. Stip is a persona that represents certain things. Stip is not structured as a brand. If Stip was to submit himself to a brand expert to build him as a brand, do's, don'ts, look, feel, sound, appearances, blah blah, Stip would become somebody totally different.
Wale doesn't have all that, but he's. You
Wale
say he's a
does.
brand.
I can bring all of
Wale
Wale's
doesn't
brand
have all those
elements
people
now.
to tell him that do's,
Okay.
don'ts. They
The fact
doesn't
that people
have all of that.
Okay.
The fact that
okay.
he doesn't have
Cyril,
people doesn't
Ricky,
mean he
guys,
doesn't have a brand.
Guys, I'm sorry. I know
You're
they say
contradicting
exit
yourself.
when the applause is
I'm not
loudest.
contradicting myself.
Please hold on.
Wale has a brand.
I
You know
so-
what
I
Wale's
wish.
brand
So,
means?
no, guys, hold on, please. I beg you. We would have to take this marketing conversation because, honestly, it doesn't only affect even musicians, even the country as Ghana itself. There's a conversation around marketing, and I think we need to take it up and then have an extensive chat on where, because it is, we've identified this as one of the root causes why we are losing out on a lot of our artists. Guys, we listed there are 100 names. I'm telling you, there are 100 names that we pulled out. We can't put all out here, of course. Some are very sensitive, and people's lives are thriving on this. You can't just go and call somebody's brand dead. I beg you. But there are about 100 names we pulled out and picked that up of artists that are lacking in this same conversation.
artists.
Ghanaian artists that are lacking in this same space because of direction, which then brings about brand, PR, and marketing. So thank you for raising it, Ricky. I will have to let us do this conversation next week Monday here on the show, and we will have to involve some extra brand experts who are out of our space to help us understand this also very, very well.